Already a huge difference from yesterday. It's flowing better. So it's gonna be good. You could walk. Significantly better today. Still crowded, but I'll take this crowd over yesterday's. And still super busy, like I said, but way better. It's 100% better. You could actually walk around now. some of the booths are really still crowded, busy, but that's okay. So today would be the day to shop, and I don't know if it's because it's a Sunday or if it's because they time the entrance a little bit better. We shall see.
Oh no, that's just a number that indicates the style. Yes.
Okay.
It's just our numbering
I'm so sorry.
system.
Yeah, I'll email you the receipt.
Meetups are still going strong. And there are 2 locations for meetups this time. Hello from Chicago still. I am gonna get ready to leave for the airport, but I wanted to kind of, because I had a million DMs on Instagram about how the Chicago Stationery Fest was. I had a ton of people like, I want to go next year, what do you think, and I kind of want to give my honest opinion of everything. I would hate for someone to, miss it or go and not be aware of everything. Like I said, I am so excited that we're finally getting some stationery based events and things that we can kind of build community, do the meetup, shop. So excited about that. I think Chicago was a place to do it. As you know, love the city. It just has so much to offer with food, things to do, sightsee. You can make a whole vacation out of it. So I think that's a plus. The venue that the event was, Chicago Stationery Show was held at, was beautiful. Aesthetically, it was just beautiful. When we entered, or actually let me back up a little bit. I actually had notes because I had so many DMs and questions, and by the time I get home at night after everything, I was just kind of beat, and I just kind of went to bed. But I had bought the 2-day ticket, so it was Saturday and Sunday. I believe it was $50. And I bought it literally like the first day it came out, so I know they kind of sold out. But I bought the 2-day one. I know I have a friend that bought a 1-day Saturday and a 1-day Sunday, and I'll get into that. But I bought the one that was 2-day, $50. There was a VIP pass, which was 100 and something. There was mine, which was 50 for the 2 days. And then there was single day ones, which I'm assuming was 25, but I didn't buy that, so I don't really know. They were the communication was good. We kept getting emails about everything, facts, everything that you could possibly think of. They sent out an email where they were very transparent about all of that. Once I got there on Saturday at around 10, because the doors opened at 10, and for VIP they got to go in at 9. I immediately saw a line, like 2 ginormous lines, like the whole length of the building. And I was aware of the one in New York, not put on by the same company, but in the lines. And so I'm like, okay, I was prepared to wait in a line, completely understood. But kind of waited a little bit. It was a 2.5 hour line. And after probably I'd say 40 minutes, maybe a half hour, they came around with the QR code, and you kind of just scanned it and put your name on a wait list. Kind of like at a restaurant, and you come back when it's your turn, they'll email you or text you, and you come back, and then you can go in. So you can kind of go do whatever you want. The only thing is that they didn't tell you you're number 52, but there's 34 ahead of you, or so you kind of didn't know how far you can go or when to come back exactly, so you kind of had to stick around anyway. I was fortunate enough where I met a great group in line, and we literally talked the entire time. We didn't even want to go anywhere. We just wanted to stand there and chit chat. It was perfect. We have a chat going right now on the phone. We bonded, became friends. I had a great experience. I mean, it was 2.5 hours, but I made the best of my 2.5 hours. Once in, they handed us a lanyard. They put a bracelet on us, which I loved, because I didn't have to wear the lanyard the whole time. I just would show my little bracelet, and it was like a fabric, so I was able to shower with it. I really like that. It was a nice touch. And they gave us a little field notes special notebook, and they gave us this program, which it pretty much answered everything. It was just like the website. The website, I knew where the vendors were going to be. I should put my glasses on for this part. They gave the event schedule. They gave the times. They gave what was going on, guest services. The neatest thing, though, I thought too, I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm not going in order. Was they had meetups. So within the event space, they had designated tables that had meetups, and they let you know what time. They had 1 at 11, bring a notebook for journaling drills. This was a sticker swap. This was a card and letter writing social. This was a postcard. I mean, it was just, I loved that. I loved it. And people took complete advantage of it because these tables were full every time I went to see. You had a list of the sponsors, which is always good because they're the ones that you kind of want to really thank. They're the ones that they are giving things for you to have for free and really make things happen. And then it had a list of the vendors and then their table numbers, which the table numbers didn't really help too much because the table numbers weren't visible at the table. So you kind of had to hope that they had a sign saying what their company was or kind of eyeball it from the map. So this was the map. Now, when you walked in, they had a downstairs and then an upper level. So the lower level had a place with a ton of round tables, and that's where you had the meetups. And then it had paper and pencil booth, the main one, which had the merch. So you wanted to go there, like at a concert, you wanted all the merch. And then they had field notes, and then a few other vendors, probably like 4 other vendors. And I believe they had a little bar where you can get beverages. And that was it on the lower level, beside check-in. And then in the back, still on the lower level, were where the workshops were had. Now the workshops, I believe a bunch of them sold out. But they were all throughout the day as well. They were a separate price. They were really neat too. It was, get lost in your creative journal, making washi tape, collage and journaling, all kinds of things. So they had a good variety. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 one day, and oh no, they had a bunch. So I thought they didn't have that many, but they did actually have a bunch. This was the complete layout, which I loved. How they did have the numbers, so at least I could like kind of eyeball it. Like, oh, this one that I wanted to go to should be right here. So that was great. So once I got the notice that I was allowed to go in, like my number was up, went in. Like I said, they gave us the bracelet, or they checked our name off, scanned our little ticket thing to make sure we had our barcode, put our bracelet on, gave us this and our little packet, and we were on our way. I immediately went upstairs because that's where the majority of the vendors were. Madhouse. It was insane. I mean, I don't expect it to be any other way, I guess. It was like a Black Friday sale. You couldn't move. It was very, very, very packed, almost to the point where uncomfortable. It was too small. The booths were too tiny. The tabletops, they weren't booths, they were tabletops, were just too tiny. Maybe a little bit of space in between them would have been nice. Or maybe some of those ones that were upstairs, downstairs, because there was a ton of room downstairs. But I mean, I shopped still, don't get me wrong. I still shopped and got what I needed, got what I wanted, found some new companies. So that was still great. It was just very, very, very busy and crowded. Great for the vendors. If you have anxiety or have a thing with crowds or anything, it was not the shopping time for you. Later on in the day, I heard it kind of died down a little bit where you could walk a little bit more freely. But at that time, no. I did have friends that, so I got in around 2.5 hours later, and I was number 52 on the list from when they started taking the wait list. So they let a bunch of people in, and then they were like, we're at capacity, you're going to be on the wait list. So from that point, I was number 52. I had a friend call me and say, or text me, where are you at? You just got in, what number were you? And I'm like, I'm 52. It was 2.5 hours. She's like, I'm 138. And I'm like, okay, you're going to be a while, so just stay wherever you're at. I had no idea when she was going to be able to come in. So that was a little bit insane. Maybe we had known that before we left, then we wouldn't have to wait there, or we could have staggered, So, you learn. So the next day, and I loved how quick they changed it, they sent out an email, and you were allowed to check in from home. So you could put your name on the wait list, and then you knew what time to go there. So I was at the hotel, I put my name in, I said, okay. My husband and I went to breakfast, we did our morning, and then when my time was up, I go, oh, they just called me, took the train down there, it was perfect. I didn't have to wait out there, because on Sunday it was supposed to rain. Now, the bummer thing is that my little group of friends that I had met in line, some of them had 2 days, some of them were taking workshops, some of them had both days, but single tickets. So they bought one Saturday, one Sunday, not the 2-day pass. So single. So I had one friend that flew in from DC, and her boyfriend, so it was her and her boyfriend, they shopped together and everything on Saturday. On Sunday, they canceled his ticket. They were like, oh, we oversold. There's too many. We canceled your ticket. Like, you can't come now. They just found out that day. So that I thought was not okay. Most of us traveled, and we traveled far to get there. And I would have, and I did kind of shop on Sunday or Saturday, did what I needed to do, and then I'm like, I'll come back. This is too much. I'll come back on Sunday. It's kind of what they did too, I'm assuming, and for them then to be like, you can't come back on Sunday, and they just found out. I thought that was horrible. So if they could have changed that, or maybe I don't know, that was a little, and that wasn't the only person that happened to. I had another friend from California that happened to her too. So I don't know. I'm assuming people will be angry about that and disappointed because that was just not very. It was just not good. So Sunday, like I said, I was able to put my name in here. They called me after I was done with breakfast and getting coffee and all that good stuff. It was still 2.5 hours though. Went in, no problem. It was night and day. There was less people there, so you could actually move around in the aisles. Another thing that I'm like, oh, I don't know, they moved the workshops from where they were on the lower level to another site. It was just down the block. You could walk to it, but one, it was supposed to rain that day, and two, it was down the block. And they kind of opened the downstairs space up a little bit more. It flowed a little bit more, but I think maybe moving a few vendors from upstairs downstairs to kind of balance that out then, since you had all of that room, would have kind of worked a little bit better. But they're doing their best, they're trying, they're learning. This is their first one. It's unfortunate that some people paid so much money and they're learning still how to make this go. But I applaud them for putting it together, because we don't have many events like this. So I do applaud them for putting it together, and I did have a good time. But I could have a good time anywhere. So I had a great time. I shopped. I met people in real life finally that I only knew on Instagram. It was a good time. So, but with that said, I personally had a good time. But I didn't have my ticket canceled. I didn't have my workshop moved. I wasn't waiting 4 hours to get in. I had a different experience. You're going to probably get a ton of experiences that you'll find out. So you would have to judge it yourself. Now, the question people ask, like, should I go next year? Maybe if they're a little bit more transparent and you know that your ticket's not going to get canceled. You're not going to have to wait hours to get in. Yeah, because the shopping was great. The meetups were totally neat. I loved them. The variety of vendors, perfect. The time it was open, 10 to 6, awesome. I didn't get any food, and I believe they ran out of food the first day. I didn't get any, but they had the event space, like, had a bar, their bar, and so I got like a ginger ale there. But other than that, I only thing I could say is that they improve some things for next year. I'll be back, whether or not, I had a good experience, and I'm in Chicago, so even if they canceled my Sunday one, I would have been upset, but I would have still had a good time in the city. I would have made the best of it. But to know that I paid, $50 to get in, I paid for my flight, I paid for my hotel, I paid for all my food out here. I'm in like over, $1,000 just to be here. So, I'm committed. So if I'm in it that much already, not including what I spent at the venue, make it the best you can. Make it perfect. Hire somebody that knows how to do events, or consult with somebody. I don't know, but I had a good time. I made great friends. The meetups were neat. I got a lot of footage, so I'll share it with you so you can make that decision yourself. I am going and I am teaching at Little Craft Fest in Houston in April. Now, I will say that let me backtrack. The event space aesthetically was beautiful. Would I have wanted a little bit more room? Yeah. So it's like beautifully aesthetic place, less vendors, a large venue, not aesthetically pleasing. If you find one that has it all, but I don't know. So Little Craft Fest is going to be in April in Houston, outside of Houston. It's going to be on a larger scale, and a lot more workshops, a lot more vendors, just in general, more room, what have you. So I'm gonna compare the two, and let's see what they did, right, that maybe Chicago Fest can do next year, But I had a great time. Look at all these notes, and I didn't even, I went off the cuff. But I had a good time, and I bought a lot. So I hope this helps. After you see the video, and you can kind of make a judgment for yourself, and kind of go on Instagram and look at what other people are saying, and maybe you could make a really great judgment for next year, and see. I don't know if big conferences, are going to be a thing to go to in the next few years. These might take off more, these stationary ones, not the craft ones, not the scrapbook one, these stationary ones, because they're really honed in on what journalers, memory keepers, bullet journals, fountain pen, it kind of encompasses all of that without having to sift through some other things that you wouldn't need that only the craft expos have. So this one's really, it's amazing. But I met a friend that only does cards, and she was like super excited to be there. She found things that she needed. So, I don't know. I do think if somebody gets this just right, like perfect, these are the things to go to. These are the ones. The small meetups that they had, I loved, versus like all day crops or anything like that, because I just love that. The community, the way that you were interacting with other people was great. I actually liked it better at the Stationery Fest than versus like an expo type one, like a big convention type one. I don't know. It was great. So watch the footage yourself, and then you can kind of gauge it a little bit more. But like I said, I had fun. There were some hiccups, and I love everything I got. So hope this helps.